Alright, it's July 29, 2010. This is one of the updates of our outdoor garden beds. This year has been a pretty good year. Banana peppers again this year doing just great, although there is a little bit of looks like end rot from the fluctuation in moisture. That's to be considered with the way July has been, with very, very high temperatures in the high 90s and heat index of over 110 degrees on some days. So it's been a very hot summer. This year put in some variety of binding plants. Those include cucumbers, cantaloupe, and squash, and they seem to be doing all right. I just picked I think it's either a cantaloupe or a honeydew melon I picked out of there, and a fairly large cucumber that got lost in some of the weeds, and a squash last week. So they're really doing pretty well. Down here I've got a smaller vine going, and as you can see, there's a few more melons that are coming in. We will hope that they all survive. Sometimes they'll get to a point and then they'll just kind of shrivel up and fall off, so we'll see what happens. We had a problem similar to that with the pumpkins when we tried the pumpkins. The bell peppers have really not done all that well. Seems like they're getting a lot of end rot on those. Also some sun damage, it looks like, in some cases, just some soft brown spots. Also there's these little kind of hybrid peppers, not too hot. They're kind of a cross jalapeno and kind of a green pepper, and they're doing all right. They're not as good as the banana peppers. They always do real well. Now over here we have the tomato monstrosity. Number of different plants in here. Two varieties basically. Early girl tomatoes, and then a yellow variety, both of which have done real well. It's been a good year for tomatoes. Last year wasn't so great because they were mostly in containers, and nothing really seemed to take off. Even the cherry tomatoes last year were kind of a bust. The only problem this year has been we've had a visitor to the garden. Some kind of large visitor that has made this his or her favorite place to have fresh vegetables. See some of the remnants down there, just coming in here and just chowing down on tomatoes. So it doesn't make me too happy, but there's been enough to where we could essentially share some of them. But it's kind of annoying when you got a nice ripe tomato and someone decides to come along and take a couple bites out of it. I just pushed all this back because of course tomatoes are, kind of viney. They put down roots, they spread out, and these stakes really were no match really for any of the large plants this year. I thought they were sturdier than what they were, but actually had one just kind of bend in half, so have to kind of reconsider those. Also the clips kind of unclip themselves at some point, so they get too heavy, especially when you got a full plant of tomatoes. It kind of defeats the purpose and they fall over. Of course, over here we still have our assorted herbs that we described in an earlier video. Includes some mint, some chives, some thyme, some oregano, some rosemary. We didn't do any basil this year. I grew the basil last year from seed, but I don't think any of it's come back naturally this year. I had to plant the seeds last year and then transplant them, but they didn't come back. So I also moved the tomatoes from here, put peppers in here this year, and so they've done real well. So I hope if you do Tanner gardening that yours are providing you with lots of good fresh vegetables. Love these banana peppers. They're just great. We use them on all kinds of Mexican dishes, and just very good and healthy for you, and mild. So very good. You can put them in a lot of different dishes. So hope you've enjoyed this short video on my raised bed garden, and happy gardening.